Good evening, everybody. We are getting close to the closing on these horses on our holiday select sale. It is just about 40 minutes out until the first horse closes. So we're just going to jump on live for a few minutes and go through and just kind of review where each of the horses are at, and talk a little bit again about a couple of things that we've had some questions on today. So first of all, we've had a couple people from different time zones that have contacted us and asked some questions about the timing on this. If your computer is set to your home time zone, different than Mountain Standard Time Zone, then the software will automatically convert the times to your local time. It will convert to whatever time your computer is set to. So if you're in the Pacific Time Zone and you're seeing the first horse closes at 5, it's because your computer's set at Pacific Time. If you're in the Central Time Zone and seeing that the first horse closes at 7, it's because you're in the Central Time Zone. So your computer will convert the time countdown for you. And if you're not sure where that's at, if you go into the catalog, into the horse, it'll show you right here. You can see this one's turned into a countdown that the bidding ends in 39 minutes. So the first horse does end in 39 minutes. That's hip number 1, and it's Clyde. So we wanted to point that out. We also want to remind everybody that as these start to climb time down, if somebody bids in the last 60 seconds on a horse, it will extend that horse by 2 minutes. It can extend multiple times, and one horse extending will not affect the close time on any other horses. We've also had a couple questions on the timing of some of the later horses. There are, as you get later in the sale, we did have a few horses that had to be pulled out, and so it's not true to the hip number and the 5-minute math. So just go by what's in the software and what it shows. It does show you, again, right here what the time is, and it'll start having a countdown here to keep track, so you can be in and paying attention. You can see here, Clyde is at 30,500. The next bid would be 31,000. This is a cool, fancy horse we talked about last night. Again, he'll be the first horse to close. So if you're after Clyde, you're going to be wanting to be paying attention. You're 38 minutes out. Hip number 2, this is Scooter. He's at $6,000 right now. The next bid would be $6,250. The other thing that we want to talk as we get closer to the end, the bid increments may adjust, so you want to pay attention to that. As you get within the last 5 minutes, we may adjust the bid increments a little bit. So you can pay attention there on that. We want to remind everybody again too that the pre-purchase exams are in these pictures, with the exception of 7 and 25 where there's a link for them. You can go read these pre-purchase exams and see on each horse. Hip number 3 is at 5,500. Next bid would be 5,750. 2 and 3, those are 2 horses right there. Good, nice, solid, both colored geldings. You saw in the videos last night. Compare them to some of the other horses in the sale. Those are, if you're looking for something in a budget, there's opportunity right at the beginning of this sale. We tell people all the time, be careful that you don't pass up a horse early, waiting for a horse late that may go out of your budget. The first one that you get that's on your list that you like, you should probably buy, as long as it's in your budget, because the one that you might wait for might go out of your budget. Hip number 5, here's another good, nice, registered colored gelding, 7,750. The next bid would be 8,000. So here again, if you've been paying attention to the horse market, you know that there's still some good deals here in this sale with some really nice horses. Hip number 6, here's one that really surprises me. Draft cross. We've had a lot of attention on the draft crosses in this sale. Here's one. Just because he's sorrel, don't overlook him. You got a heck of a hip on him. You got a big front shoulder, pretty head, nice horse. You saw him ride bareback in a halter and a lead rope last night in the video. Talking a little bit more with the consignor today, this horse has been roped on in the arena. He's also done some steer tripping. There's a good, solid, nice horse that's way, half of what he's worth right there. Here's another one, hip number 7. This is the one, again, the pre-purchase report is down here in this link, but she's only at 3,000. She's a good, solid, registered mare. She's 12 years old. She's got a ton of life ahead of her. She's been used on the ranch. She's got a great pedigree. You saw her work a cow on the rope last night in the video, or if you've watched the video on your own. Way under the money here. Even, I know there's some notes on the vet report, but nothing that's going to stop her from being used. And have a long life ahead of her, and you can go get some babies out of her. That's again, about half the money of what that horse is worth. Moving on to hip number 8. This is another one I'm really surprised with. Here's a nice, good, solid, registered colored gelding. He's at 8,250 right now. The next bid would be 8,500. Same consigner that's horse number 1. You saw in the video. You see where he's been used. Just a really good, nice, solid the color everybody always wants. And well under the money of what he's worth there. Moving on to hip number 9, he's at $10,000. Another big, solid, nice gelding that's very versatile. We talked last night about how the Cobbs had mentioned he's extremely athletic. He's pretty as can be, eye-catching. You compare him to some of the other draft crosses in this cell, and he's well under the money there too. Here's another one that really surprises me, hip number 10. This is a nice, solid, young. We saw how good his disposition was. He's papered. He's registered. He's got a great start on him. He can go in any direction. He's roan. I don't know what else. People are way missing the boat here. This is the gelding that should be well above where it's at 5,250. Somebody should be paying attention. Somebody must be watching because it just went up one. But this gelding's another one that's well under the money for a nice roan registered gelding that's ready to go do a job on. So somebody should be paying attention there. We are moving a little bit slow here in the software again. I apologize again. We've struggled with our internet the last couple of days for streaming. Fortunately, that won't affect us tonight on the auction. I'm going to bounce out here and go back to... Okay, hip number 12. Here's another one that really surprises me that is well under the money, 6,500. I know a lot of people went and rode this horse and loved him. We got a lot of positive feedback from the people that went and visited with Jane and saw this horse. Again, he's only 7 years old. He's in the prime of his life. He's got a lot of life ahead of him. Well under the money there. Again, there's still a lot of good deals. Here's another one that just really surprises me. He's not a draft cross, but he's the same size. He's 17 hands. He's really well built. He's gentle. He rides out good. I talked with Brad a little bit about this horse this morning again, and he reminded me, I forgot this when we talked about the videos last night, and I know the video's a little bit blurry. They were doing it in some stormy weather because their initial video got corrupted and we weren't able to work with it, and they went out to remake the video. But most of that video, he's riding that horse bridleless, to give you an idea. So there's a horse you can ride around bridleless. He's big. Whether you want to go out on the ranch, he's only 12 years old. He rides gentle. You can see in that video he rides really well, one-handed. That's a big, solid. We always have people looking for these big, solid horses. There's one right there that's about half the money of what he ought to be. Trying to move on here again. I'm not sure why it keeps locking up on rolling through there, but hip number 14, Romeo, another one of the draft crosses. I'm going to shift over here to a hot spot if I can here. Should have started there last night, like we did last night. Here's hip number 14. Romeo, big, solid, nice. I mentioned last night, Jerry told us that he liked this horse as well as any draft cross he'd ever had. He's pretty. He rides out. He's at 18.5. The next bid would be 19,000. With hip number 15, here is one of the weanlings that we've got. Again, if you realize all these futurities that these horses are eligible for, Just the pink buckle eligibility. A stallion owner has to pay $25,000 for the offspring to be ready for that. To go find all the eligibility that these weanlings have, somebody should be paying attention here. They're well under the money. I was talking to somebody today that was one of these futurity sales just a couple weeks ago, and yearlings were selling well into the 5 figures with this kind of eligibility for the pink buckle, the ruby buckle, Future Fortunes, the Breeders' Challenge, and several others. He's a colt on top of that. He's got all the breeding that you're looking for in the barrel pen, as well as for a head horse. So you can take him on, do the maturity, prove him, and you can even keep him as a stud and start a breeding program right there that will fit for you. Here's set number 16. He's at 21.5. The next bid would be 22,000. I talked last night about when I first saw this horse. I really liked the looks of him. He's just a cool looking horse, and if you watch the videos and see how he works, there's another one that, if you compare him to hip number 1, is well under the money. Hip number 17, we talked last night about how unique this horse is, and unique cross. He's got the Appy coloring, he's got the Andalusian mix in there. Big, nice, solid, rides out nice. I still think, again, that horse is under the money and where it ought to be if you're paying attention to the current market. Here's another one that surprises me. Hip number 18. He's bred to be a cow horse. He's been used in the rope pen. He's been used on the ranch. He's the red roan. He's pretty. We saw him ride out good. Again, this horse is well under the money of what he is. Go try to raise a horse to this. He's in the prime of his life. He's got his whole life ahead of him. You got 12, 13 years of use left in this horse, but he's ready to go and rope on. He's ready to go ride on the trails, whether it's a ranch horse, work a cow. That's a good, solid, well put together gelding with a great pedigree, and well under the money of what he's worth. This horse in our fall sale would have easily hit $12,000, $13,000, and he's only at 7. So, again, there's still some really good deals left in this sale if you're paying attention. Here's another, nice young. We watched him. She's soft in the mouth. She's roan, whether she's blue roan or bay roan, she's right there, and just a cool color. We saw she's got a great start on her. Another one that's well under the money on a horse that's got his whole life ahead of her. Here is another one that really surprises me. You got the highbrow cat on the line. You got all the cow bred. You saw him. He's been used on the ranch. Just a nice, good, solid registered gelding. He's young. He's only 6 years old. He's going to make somebody a really nice horse on the ranch or in the rope pen. Somebody needs to be paying attention there again too. Here's another one. We're talking about the draft crosses and kind of where they're at. This horse is, roughly half or less than half than most of the draft crosses. Big, solid, nice bay roan. Rides out gentle. You see him there carrying a deer. Another one that I'm surprised where he's at. Here's another good, solid, registered 10-year-old gelding that we saw in the video. Rides out nice. Well under half the money of what this horse is worth. Hip number 24. Here's another one that a horse with its whole life ahead of it. A heck of a pedigree on her. We saw how she rode. She rides out nice and gentle. She's done buckskin color. She just pretty head. Here's another one. Go ride her for 10 years and then start getting babies out of her. She's really well put together. You can see that in the video as well as these pictures. Just another one that's well under the money of what she ought to be. Here's another one that surprises me. I talked last night, how much Quentin has talked to me about this horse. We've had multiple horses out of Gene Hetleven's program, ones that Quentin Osborne have worked with. They've topped our sales in the past multiple times. We've seen these horses break $10,000 regularly, and Quentin talked that this is right there with the best, if not the best, from this breeding program that he's ridden. He's 5 years old. He's been used all over on the ranch. He's ready to go rope on, ranch rodeo, use him on the ranch. These horses have great dispositions, come from a great breeding program. They're well put together. Somebody's missing the boat here again. You go start looking for these kind of horses, and you're going to spend $15,000 to $20,000 all day long. He's only at 10. Somebody should be paying attention there. Here's another one of the weanlings with the eligibility. We just talked about what it takes to get that eligibility, what some of these were selling for. At a sale just recently in 5 figures regular case, here's a deal. I really like this particular filly too, and how she's put together with that hip and that head. She's going to make something that is really going to be a nice looking horse. You can see it already when you see them put together. We bred horses for several years, and when you see them like this, and that conformation just stands out, don't miss out on an opportunity. A really nice horse with all the eligibility for the futurities. Here's another one, cow bred. We talked about it last night. You could go show on him, take him to an amateur breed show, cut on him, turn him into a rope horse. He's got a pedigree I really like. I'm a fan of the Smart Chickalina horses. He's well put together. You can see the stop on him, the spins on him, whether it's high school, college, amateur breed show, a youth going. There's a horse that is, go try to find the horse that's got that kind of foundation. You can't even get the training for that price, let alone the horse. So somebody's really missing the boat there as well. Moving on to hip number 28. Here's another one that we watched that's got that beginnings and the start. He's a young horse, but he's got that reining foundation. He's got a great pedigree. This is another one you could go finish out, take to the breed shows, amateur breed shows, turn him into a rope horse, take him out on the ranch. He's got a great foundation. He's soft. We saw him work really well. That's a horse, again, that's probably well under the money by $3,000 or $4,000. Here's another one. We see some of these earlier draft crosses that are easily in 5 figures. He's not even halfway there. Another good, solid, nice draft cross. We do want to point out, earlier we had a typo in here. In the write-up, it was listed correct as 13, and the date showed 13 as well. I apologize for that. He is 13 years old. He's a 2007. But again, he's got 10 years ahead of him, and with the draft cross, maybe more than that. Just a great deal right there when you start comparing it. Here's another one. I've talked to Jane. She really, really, really likes this gelding. When she likes to ride him, you need to pay attention. He's well put together. He has a really nice hip. Just a great, and he's, again, in the money where he's really a deal when you start comparing to what the market is. Hip number 33, another one. Good, nice, solid gelding that's 7 years old. He's flashy paint. You don't see a lot of the black and whites anymore. He's put together well, rides out nice. Another one that's well under the money of what the market should be. These ponies, we talked a little bit about these ponies last night. You're going to try awful hard after the sale to go find one. Just to find one, let alone find one in this price range. We've seen several of these ponies sell this fall at different sales for well into 5 figures. We got 2 of them in this sale that aren't even quite there. And these horses are probably better broke and better used. Both of them have got experience on the ranch where they've been used for day work. We talked last night about how they rode with loose reins or one rein. They're not spoiled. You're going to go a lot of miles to try to find them again, and you're not going to find them for this price. People that are looking for ponies are missing the boat there. There's some great deals. Here's another nice young prospect. I talked last night that Brad told me this horse is just gentle, easy temperament. Again, you can't find much for $3,000 where that horse is at right now. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He's registered. He rides gentle. You take this horse and go ride him for 2 years, and you'll double your money easily on this, if not more. Somebody ought to be paying attention there. Here's the other pony. Again, we've seen these ponies break 5 figures real easy, and not as well broke as these 2 that we've got in the sale. People should really be paying attention on these ponies. They're just so hard to find. We have 6 kids. We know. We've looked for them. Even when you find them, finding the ones that the kids can get on and not have to fight them to get them away from the gate or pick up their head and not have to fight to get them to ride out, they're hard to find. And when you find them, you better buy them. Here's hip number 37, another good shining spark bred. He's been used on the ranch. He's got a ton of potential. He's only 11 years old. Talking to Matt today, he told me he really liked riding this horse around on the ranch. Again, go try to find him in the spring. You're going to pay double that money. He's shining spark bred. And Smart Chickalina. That's as good a names out there right now in that cowbred world or that type of stuff. Here we are on hip 38. This is another one I talked about in the video last night. I didn't realize from the pictures, but when you see in that video, this horse is a tank. He goes back to some great cow lines on the top, on the bottom side, and the highbrow hickory. Just a tank of a horse. He's young. He's only 5 years old. We saw him ride around. 6 years always going to have nice horses. This is another one that just, I've heard a lot of these Appaloosas selling really high outside of some other sales, and here's one. The blanketed black is hard to find. He's well put together. He's cowbred. Somebody's missing the boat there again. Here's another one we talked about. Matt Bailey's got a great start on this horse. How he flexed. He's got 90 rides. He's bred for the barrel pen or the rope pen with some great breeding. He's got his whole life ahead. This is a steal of a deal. Again, you couldn't go get the 90 days. Would cost you $2,000 or more in the training. And you can't buy a yearling for that price anymore. So you add up the training and the yearling, and this horse is well under the value right there. Here's another one I talked about last night. We've done sales for 5 years. I've never seen this versatile of a horse come in. You just don't see these horses come available. People don't let them go. Ron's letting this horse move on to some other life. He's got lots of life ahead of him. He came out with a clean bill of health on the pre-purchase. This horse can calf rope, breakaway, team rope, cutting, rein cow horse, take him to amateur shows, take him to high school or college rodeo, take him to the Little Buckaroo or Little Britches. This is a horse you can haul one horse and do multiple events, and you just don't find these horses that you can go and compete on at this level. He's proven. He's gone to the World Show and placed. You couldn't get the training to get him to his 3 and 4 year old year for this money. He's finished. He's ready to plug and play. He's ready to go out, and whether you want to cut, rope, whatever you want to do, there's a horse. That horse is worth twice what he's sitting at right now easily. You're just not going to find that horse again. You go out and try to find this for a high schooler, and you're going to have to buy 3 horses to get one that does everything this horse does. So somebody's really missing there. Here's another one that really surprises me. Just a really nice, well put together, stout, solid gelding. He is great. I really like him. Just a good, solid, well put together horse. And well under the money. He's got his whole life ahead of him. So we're getting close. We're about just 18 minutes away from the first horse closing. As we roll through here, there's still a lot of really good deals. Get on, pay attention. Again, all the bidding takes place here in the catalog. We do want to remind everybody that if one horse moves, it will not affect the others as far as extending, and a horse can extend multiple times. So if you're looking back-to-back horses, you need to kind of keep track and pay attention to what's going on. We have people here on the phone. If somebody's got questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. We look forward to seeing these horses close out and find some new homes. We got a great batch of horses. We're excited to see where they end up, and we will be here available and watching. Hope you're sitting down and ready to bid and ready to get these horses bought. Again, there's still a lot of good deals here, and we're looking forward to see where they end up. Good luck in the sale, and if you need our help, please give us a call.
All right.